again to another episode of Brain Heroes. And today I am so really honored to be here with Sylvain Mancuso. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
I
it's
hope
the right. Yeah, you did it right.
he is the CEO of Concussion Heroes. And so I think that's it's been really interesting to look at your organization and what you're doing, Sylvain. So tell us a little bit more about what is Concussion Heroes and how did you get there? How did you get to actually doing this? Love to hear your story.
I'm going to do the short version. I'm the father of two kids, a daughter, she's a dancer, and my son is a hockey player. And here in Canada, hockey is everyday life habit, you know, it's the social, is the fun, is the friendship and all that. But at the same time, I am a physiotherapist from France and an osteopath. And at the same time, I want to see my son enjoy the game, but without putting a toll on his brain. And my biggest question was that, can we do something to try to lower the risk of concussion? Okay. And I live in Moncton, and I was lucky to meet Graham Black. He's the athletic therapist of the Wildcats. That is a hockey team in the Major Junior Hockey League in Quebec. Mm-hmm. And we talked together, and I said, okay, what do you do before the season to try to help the player to lower the risk of concussion? Mm-hmm. And he told me, we don't do anything because a concussion just happened. And wow. I said, I don't think so, because with my background in osteopathy, we always speak about the straw who break the camel bag, you know, the small things who is going to just trigger out the issue. And I said, I think the camel bag of the player can be full of many things, and why we don't try to work on the player before the season to try to identify some specific area that we can work on. And he said, you know what, try. And he gave me the Wildcats for a guinea pig. I need to be honest on this one. And I said, okay, let's go. We are going to try to do something. And the season before we begin the protocol, they had 14 concussion. The first year we did the protocol, we had only 3 concussion.
Wow.
And in the past 6 years now, we have an average of 0.8 concussion every year. Then we can compare with the 5.3 average in the league.
How do you get a 0.8 concussion? I'm sure people are curious about that.
Okay, we develop a program. One is at the beginning of season, I check every player, and I check some key point in the body from the head to the toe, because the brain is just over the player, you know, and if anything is not right in the body of the player, is going to increase the risk of concussion. And the study showed that, for example, neck issue or upper back issue, 1 is going to increase the risk of concussion, and 2 is going to increase the recovery time too. And we take the player at the beginning of the season, do a complete checkup, and walk from the head to the toe to be sure that everything is mobile. And after, during the season, Graham is implement the Play Ready program, who is going to focus on key point in the body again to try to change the posture of the player. Because, for example, when the head is bent forward just on 30 degrees, right, the weight of the head is not 10 pounds, but 40 pounds. Now you try to imagine that when you receive a shock and you are not in the right posture, your muscle were designed to stop a ball of 10 pounds. They are going to need to stop a ball of 40 pounds. That's a big difference, you know? And Graham is working with the player all year round to use the Play Ready program to increase posture, strength, proprioception, visual ability, because the same things is you have 2 solutions to avoid a concussion. One is going to be ready to receive the shock, and you will be in the good posture, have the good strength, and have the good proprioception to keep your head straight, because some studies show that posture could be more important than neck strengthening because of the biomechanics of the muscle. And the other way to avoid the concussion is going to see the guy coming.
Yeah,
and you know, with all the screen time and things that kids do, they always focus, you know, we call that a funnel vision. And if you see the guy coming on your side way far, you are ready to see the guy, you are going to be ready to receive the shock in the right position, or better, avoid the shock, because you will not be surprised when the guy will be there, because at the beginning, you are seeing the guy coming from the side, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we work on the visual ability to try to improve the peripheral vision at the same time. And a study did by an optometrist showed that increasing the visual ability is a way to lower the risk of concussion. And the program we do is a complete solution. You know, it's not only neck strengthening, or not only proprioception, or not only visual or posture. We do that all together, because I think in every issue, nobody has only one solution, you know? There is not only one solution, and you are a registered nurse, and you know that in a hospital, it's a teamwork. You know, everyone working together, and the guy cleaning the floor in the hallway is there to help the patient to be better. And I think in my vision, and we work with many things together, and we don't try to find which is the best one. We just work on each key point, and we try to improve that to help the patient and the player to be play ready.
No, I love what you're doing, and I love the simplicity, kind of, right? It sounds. I mean, I know there's a lot of steps in that, but it's very logical for me. It's like, okay, if I can avoid the amount of posture, or if I can avoid actually the guy coming at me and avoid the concussion, and that's phenomenal. And with the Wildcats, right? With that whole entire program. Are you limited right now to the Wildcats? Are you planning to expand the program? What's kind of your ideas around that?
No, because like I said, it's a two things. There is a therapeutic thing that I'm doing like an osteopath here, and there is the program. And for the moment, because I want to touch the more people I can. I want to see less kids with concussion. You know, it's the why of Concussion Heroes. I want to act before, because after, you know, we spoke about the brain, and when you have an injury in the brain, it's going to stay. There is no way that the brain is just going to heal, and they will has no trace in the brain, you know, because it's nervous system, and you are going to keep scar tissue of the issue, you know. And the idea of Concussion Heroes is we don't want to see kids go through this and have concussion and all the consequences that they can have after. And it's why we developed the Play Ready program. It's an online program that people can download and do at home, because we give, like I say, some exercise, but at the same time, we give some advice about feeding, drinking, sleeping, good habit. What do you need to do before the game, about screen time, for example, about the behavior you need to have during the game. We push a lot respect, because I think if you respect your opponent, he's going to respect you, you know. There is some opponent that are not going to do it. We know that, but we hope that people can do that, you know.
Right.
It's maybe my Canadian side, you know, to say, hope everything is fine and everything will be kind, you know. And with this online Play Ready program, we want to give all the tools to the kids to be more play ready and lower the risk of concussion. We can't.
So I'm curious, is the Play Ready program, is that a certain age? Is it in English or is it in French? That's another question.
Is it in English? It was a big challenge for me, but we did that in English.
Is it any age? What kind of age is it geared towards?
It's between 8 and 18 years old. It's for girls and boys. And you can use that later too if you want, because it's going to improve. But the idea, we try to give good habit to the kids, because if I talk about hockey, I still have patients at 70 years old who play hockey, It's every day. It's a whole life sport, And the idea is to give them some advice that they are going to keep later, because we spoke about kids have concussion, but at the same time, we spoke about adults who can have a concussion, lose their job, lose their life, lose everything, And it's the same. We need to be ready to be on the field. That's all.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I love the idea for it. So if I can bring you 10 years from now, and with all your dreams, right? With thinking about 10 years from now, 10 years in the future, and with this program really flourishing, what would that look like? What is your dream? What is your hope for the future at this moment?
My dream is to can see all the kids doing the Play Ready program before the season or during the season, and see the number of concussion going down, because there is too many concussions. And maybe my biggest dream will be to have no concussion anymore, and kids can enjoy games and have no risk to put a toll on his brain,
Right. No, I love it. Is your program available in the United States as well?
Yeah. We have a website, concussionheroes.com, and you can just go on the website, and you have all the information about the program, and you can download when you want.
Beautiful. Okay. I love what you're doing. It's such I think it comes so much from the heart for you, right? Is really helping kids and adults, but also kids to not have concussions and to have healthy brains, right? Moving forward and being strong in their lives, because they have a whole life ahead, right? Right now, this is important, but right? Can you speak a little bit towards that? Because I think that's important for kids and parents and coaches, right? It's how important in terms of I realize that the game is important in the moment, but I think you also really are looking at what's the future, right, of these kids, and how important is.
Yeah, because the study showed, and there is some study who showed that there is more risk of degenerative neurological disease after many concussions. Some others say there is no relationship. I think we are still discover and try to understand what the consequences of the concussion. But there is so many story about people who can't work anymore because they had concussion before, I remember, I think it was a lineman. He was playing in college football, did his physician study, and needs to stop to work at 42 years old because the brain can't process anymore. And there was a relationship between the concussion he had when he was playing college football and just turn his life in sideway because he can't do his job anymore, and that's this type of story I don't want to hear. And maybe I will not be there when my son or my daughter will have 60 or 70 years old, but I want to see them enjoy their brain and keep their mind in good shape all their life. It's my goal.
Beautiful. Well, thanks so much. ConcussionHeroes, right? .com. That's the website. Please go. And if you know somebody who's in the sport, or if you know a coach, please go to Concussion Heroes and get in touch and see how we can help more kids have healthy brains, right? Because that's what we're all about with Brain Heroes as well. And now ConcussionHeroes.com. Let me just say it straight, because I think you're doing a marvelous job, and it's so needed, and it's so simple. It's so, I mean, right? It's a simple, beautiful program to help kids be their best as they grow in their youth, but also in adulthood. So thanks so much for coming on to Brain
You're
Heroes.
welcome.
Do you have anything else you want to add before we finish? I think you've already said a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but on the website of Concussion Heroes, there is a part that we did for the coach too, to give them some tools about on-field awareness, to give them some exercise and they can give to the kids. And there is another side of the website who is focusing on the therapist, because we are going to give an online certification for therapists to implement the program and the protocol we use with the Wildcats to any osteopath, physiotherapist, chiro, and people who can be involved in team to try to improve the health of the player and lower the risk of concussion.
Beautiful. Okay, so this is not just parent, coaches, kids, but this is also therapists. I love
Yeah,
that.
because it's a teamwork, parents, kids, coach, therapist, everyone around the kids needs to be involved in that. It's not only the goal, the work of the parents. They have already many things to do, I think. And if we can help the player around the player, I think it's a good way to work.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Well, again, concussionheroes.com. Thanks so much, Sylvain, for coming on. And let's this right. If you like this interview, if you feel the heart in it, which I definitely do, share this to somebody who knows, who is involved with this. Even if you're not involved yourself, or if you're involved yourself, get involved, because we need to have a better future for our kids and our brains. So thanks again.
Thanks to invite me to talk about that. Thanks.
It was good.